and welcome. Thanks for joining us. I'm joined by Peter Mason, Sarah Manager, and we thought we'd give you a brief overview of some of the nice things we've got coming for sale tomorrow. I thought we'd start with these, which are lot number 293, and they're a pair of Ormolu candelabra. Of course, would have been accompanied by a clock originally, but super quality. And they've got little jasper panels there. Jasper, this is an unglazed porcelain mimicking obviously the mineral of jasper, seen through the classical world. These are probably modelled by Henri Dasson for Maison Baudelais. Super quality. They did do a model of these with enamel panels, which are probably the very top of the tree. But this is bronze with an application of a fine layer of gold. Beautiful things, late 19th century, just scream quality. I know they haven't got their clock now, but that doesn't necessarily matter. If you look at the little swags, the little bellflower swags all round, the nozzles there, just super quality. And on the little leaves and things, and on these fruiting vines here, the way it's been chased back with a texturing punch, just super things. You know, when you get quality like that, it screams at you.
And would the clock have come from the same maker?
Yeah, I guess so. They did this also, Maison Baudelais. They actually did this with a 6 sconce setup. And I think they were basically interchangeable. You could get them with a 6 sconce setup.
Yeah.
I guess they would have been freestanding in their own right. It would have been, in fact, not betraying any confidences or anything, but I spoke to the valuer responsible for seeing these, and the clock is known to exist.
Oh, really? I was going to say, if you're sitting at home watching and you might have the clock,
Well,
well, you've got a few hours before the auctions, but get in touch soon.
Well, I think it's a bone of contention. The clock is, I think it's one of those rather tricky situations where brother and sister, or brother and brother, or sister and sister fall out.
Yeah, we see a lot of that.
Yeah, and it's well, I'll take these, and you have that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not such a crime as when you see, dresser. I mean, it's not so bad nowadays, but a dresser, the rack is split with the base, and I'll have the 2 carvers, and you have the 8 singles, and so on and so forth. Just super quality.
And the estimate on those is 500-700, I think.
Yeah, 500 to 700. I should think they're probably worth every bit of that.
Yeah.
I think that these are sort of your top quality, top end. I think there's a model above this with the more sconces, and also with the enamel, with the guilloche enamel work on here. These panels all remove actually, and I took the panels off to see if there's any sign of any residual enameling around them, just in case it had been chipped off.
Yeah.
But no, there was no sign of it. I'm fairly confident. 99% confident that these classical jasper panels have been there, from new.
Yeah.
I just like them. Everything about them is quality. Yes, these would have been cast in molds. Yes, but there's a whole another layer of work that goes on. Then, you get them out the molds, and then they have to be fettled, and then you have to give them texture with punches, and then they have to be degreased, and then the gold is applied with mercury, and then the flames played over it, and the mercury evaporates, leaves the gold, and then you have to burnish it. So
it's not the sort of thing you could do in an afternoon then.
No, and it's very very. I mean, you've got to bear in mind this was done before fume cupboards and extractor fans, so chances are if you did this, you'd probably end up going mad with the mercury inhalation.
Yeah.
So, these guys,
Very
very short career span.
I'll lift it up just to give you an idea of scale.
Mm.
In front of me there, that's the other one I've got. Lovely things.
And you can see here, look, a little classical urn. Avoided the obvious schoolboy error of terming it Wedgwood, because we always think of Wedgwood when we see Jasper panels, but in actual fact, this is a hard-paced bisque porcelain. But absolutely lovely.
Yeah.
And late 19th century, the clock would have been quite a thing to behold, and quite a size, I would have thought too. Just super.
Yeah. Well, if you do have the clock, then we'd love to hear from you.
Yes, I think it's going to be one of those mad situations whereby these sell well, and they go, "Well, it sold so well, I think I'll sell the clock now."
Yeah.
I once had that with some lanterns, some similar quality lanterns, super things, and I sold one, and it made a lot of money. And then the client phoned me up and said, "That did really well. I'm really pleased, James. I'm thinking about selling the other three now." There you go. Bless them. Right, Peter.
Okay, yes, so we'll move on. Fast forward a little bit in date. I'll pick one of these up, and then there is a pair of these just to show you. And then James will hopefully be able to do a close up. So yes, these are, talking of things coming from the mould, these are sort of, mid-20th century probably, green glass, advertising Gordon's gin. I'm going to try and show, if I can, whether you want to do that.
Oh, actually, you know what I've got here?
Here we go.
Look at these. Very useful. I'm not selling these. I'm not. There we are.
There you go, just to show the colour of the glass. So it matches, as I'm sure everyone knows, Gordon's gin in the green glass bottles.
Great things.
Yeah, so really interesting thing, and great condition as well, considering they probably spent part of their life on a shelf in a pub.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, great quirky things, and in the sale at just £100 to £200. I'm kind of hopeful I'm going to do a bit more than that, but we shall see tomorrow. That's the beauty of auction.
It's ever so popular though, the sort of bar top, I think they call it, it's a bit of a horrible term, but they term bar top collectibles, don't they?
Yes, well there's, I always struggle with the word, Breweriana.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. I couldn't
something
say
like that.
Breweriana.
Yeah, it doesn't roll off the tongue, but that's what it is. Yeah, so there's a real collectibles market out there for these things,
and of course Gordon's, because there's been I'm probably behind the curve as ever, but there's a bit of a gin thing going on, isn't there?
Well, there is, yeah.
With all there's been a bit of resurgence in the drinking of gin, and
it became a bit of the hipster choice, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So yes, really interesting items.
Super
as I say. So these just
what lot number are these?
Well, lot 337. Estimated at just £100 to £200. As I say, I'm kind of hopeful they're going to do a little bit more.
Yeah, they're lovely things.
But
great eclectic things.
Yes.
You could imagine someone mixing these up with traditional antiques and these.
Yeah.
I think we are, and I've said it before, in the age of the sort of modern cabinet of curiosities, where you can have something modern.
Yeah.
Or 20th century, I should say, and and then you've got a little bit of Roman pottery next to it.
Yeah, exactly, and they could even be turned into lamps, couldn't they? You could put lamps.
Well, actually, I tell you,
and there we go.
That would work quite well, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Look at that. These are available. Yes. No, just kidding. Yeah. Send me later.
Come and see James. I'll send you an invoice. Right, so move those out of the way. Just over there. Bit of a difference in size, but probably similar period.
Why do I hear the theme to Only Fools and Horses?
Yeah, it does feel like that. I walked through the sale room earlier and it looked like I was Del Boy on his way to the market.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Del Boy would have appealed to that.
He would, wouldn't he? Eh?
So for those of you who can't see, I'll hold it up a little bit, just to show you the scale of it as well. I'm sure you recognise it. As a Louis Vuitton suitcase. So you catalogue this, James. didn't you?
Yeah.
What can you say?
This is what they term their epi leather. That's this sort of I don't know quite what to describe it as. I guess what it's mimicking. It's a traditional calf leather, but it's mimicking sort of the Morocco texture of the 1920s, I guess. This sort of not a bark effect, but it's a sort of I don't know ribbed effect. But it would have been an expensive production. I found some of these at absolutely eye-watering costs. The cost of a car, the cost of a second-hand car, of a very good second-hand car.
Yeah.
So serious bit of kit. But
this is a later model, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
not particularly
Yeah.
So yeah, it does have the monogram. You won't be able to see it, but it's just there on top, and also on the furniture is known as.
Yeah. The furniture, lock furniture. Yeah.
I'll just.
It's completely counterintuitive. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll try and show you inside. Again, there's plenty of pictures on our website, so please have a look. But just to give you an idea of what's inside, it's not empty. Little compartments in there.
Nice and sort of restrained, I think the word is.
Yeah, and these things are ever popular at auction, partly because of the name, but just the quality of them. So that's lot tomorrow. Let me see, lot 355. And it's estimated at £500 to £700.
That's I mean, from what if you're going to buy one, if you want one, that's a bargain, really.
Yeah. I mean, there's a few scuffs and scrapes on the side. You'd expect that.
It's
had a life.
It's had a life.
And, but an interesting collectible item, and a good example of things at auction that you might not necessarily expect to see.
And practical.
Yeah, and very practical.
Perfectly usable, not made for display. It's a practical item. Louis Vuitton, they have a rich heritage and name in making usable luggage, right back to the days of the great travellers, and they made steamer trunks.
The early steamer trunks.
Oh,
yeah, really sought after items.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you've got one of those in your loft, please give us a call.
Let us know. We'll even come and carry it.
Yeah, definitely. Excuse me. Right, we move on then to something from the art department. It's the print that's behind us here. And move out the way slightly. Move my big head out the way. You can maybe see it. Have a look in the catalogue. It's lot 66. It's by John Piper, the ever popular artist. And these prints, they turn up at auction regularly. This particular one is West Walton, and it's a limited edition colour screen print signed in the bottom right hand corner by John Piper himself. Numbered 403, sorry, not 403, 43, it's even better, from the edition of 70. And as I say, ever popular at auction. He produced a lot of these things, often architectural sites, shall we say, around the country. So churches, big houses, gardens, that kind of thing.
He did near here, Wadston, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. I think he did quite a lot of big houses.
Yeah. So we have two of these prints in the sale. The original paintings are worth an absolute fortune. But they do turn up from time to time as well. But the prints, I guess, are the more affordable end of the market, but still, estimated at 700 to 1,000. They're not cheap, but they're a good investment because people are still. The market is still very strong for them, shall we say? So if you do have any at home, again, please get in touch. And this is, as I say, lot 66 tomorrow. We do have another John Piper in there as well in the catalogue, so have a look on our website, you'll see it. And it'll be up for auction tomorrow morning, starting at 9:30, I should point out. So, quickly moving on. Final lot we're going to talk to you about today. Probably our favourite lot in the sale, I think. I'll give James a minute just to pick it up because it's a big thing, a big heavy item. Do you want me to take?
I really should get a normal sized wallet. Return it round. Ooh. There we are.
Yeah, so this is lot 235.
There we are. Looks slightly funereal.
So James, what can you tell us about this?
Basically, it's Italian. It's 19th century. And it is a classical piece of Grand Tour wear, effectively. And you see, if you were sufficiently well heeled, you would go on the Grand Tour and you would sketch and you'd take in the culture, the Mediterranean culture. You'd travel through Greece and Italy.
It's kind of coming of age thing, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
Just as you entered adulthood.
Exactly. I suppose it's Ibiza now, or, of 1830.
And exclusively men at that time as well.
Exactly. And I think that probably Italy was alive with sort of floppy-haired sort of fops of the time, sketching bits of broken columns. Exactly. And of course, you'd come back, and you would bring back, and also dispel the idea that you would come back and you'd bring this in your luggage. If you were sufficiently well heeled, you would have this sent on. You see, so this is 19th century, so it's late Grand Tour. It's a mixture of walnut and birch stained to look like walnut, and it's inset. It's in the form of an Italian cassone, which is a sort of a large coffer, for want of a better term. And each one of these panels here that are inset are specimens of different Italianate marble that you would see throughout the classical world. And it's quite good because you've got the lion here. This classical
cover off, and then I can show it.
Yeah. Oh, there we are. One of the hinges is loose.
Oh, okay.
So, there we are. And what purpose does it serve? Well, not a lot really. Effectively, this would sit on your sideboard and just scream the fact that you've been on the Grand Tour and you bought this bag. But like your sort of modern raffia donkey, I suppose. And of course, you'd have your keys in there, and of course, that's not ever so secret compartment on the top. Unfortunately, it's got some signs of some boring beetles. Not beetles which are boring, but beetles which the larvae eat into the timber, and that would have been the larva would have been in the timber before it was turned into the item. Larger than our native boring beetles, but I don't think it suffers for that really. It has got history to it. It's got a wonderful patina. It's beautifully carved. I love this Avolo moulding here. Fantastic, really gutsy chunk.
And all the different specimen panels going around.
Just a lovely thing. On the sideboard, you could use it for all sorts of different things, but it's just a wonderful thing. And you've got these tiles here, which sort of mimics Italian tiled roofs here. Someone said it was the line of Lucerne. I hesitate to say the line of Lucerne because it differs slightly, but certainly
so well modelled, isn't it?
It's absolutely beautifully carved,
and it's got that smooth patina from the amount of people
the amount. It's one of those things that you can't help but really touch. So with the action of the grease from your fingers and the wax, it builds up a crispy patina to it. We hear this bandied about patina, this patina, that. Well, patina actually is man's interaction and the sign of man's interaction with his environment. And that's what you've got here. You can see where someone has held what is quite a considerable weight of the lid to pick it up. And they're doing like I've done. And their hands naturally migrate to the centre here. And so what they've done is they've worn away the finish. And so it's just dark at the edges. Just a joy, really. And to be honest, if I could afford such a thing...
it's only estimated £500 to £800. Well, it could be yours.
If I wasn't selling the big issue in my spare time... it's something that I would, and if I had the house, this is as big as my house, and if I had a house to fit this, I'd certainly buy this. It's just one. If you're going to have something, if the Grand Tour type of look is your particular shtick, this would be the thing to buy. It's a stonker, really. Cracker.
Great thing. Okay, well, it's like 235, so look out for it tomorrow. I I think that's all we've got to show today. So just thanks again for tuning in. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Peter.
We're all quite new to this, so I think this is only the second one I've done. So as you can tell, I'm looking at the wrong camera. It's the second one I've done, but yes, we'll carry on doing them every month just before each sale. So tell your friends, get them to tune in, and hopefully we look forward to seeing you next month. But we'll definitely see you tomorrow before the auction starting at 9:30.
Excellent. Good luck if you can have a bid.